Okay, so after popular demand, I'm going to go ahead and make a video of how to modify your Toyota Corolla. This is going to be applicable to 2009 to 2012 models. There's a lot of different things you can do. Most people buy these in base model or LE form, so they have hubcaps. First thing I got to tell you guys is that any rim from the, we're pretty sure 05 up, which is the 15-inch rim, alloy rim, which you can find on Craigslist or whatever pretty cheap, will fit this car. They're the same bolt pattern and everything, so that's actually the first thing I did. And also the TPMS sensors also transfer right over. So on Craigslist I was able to pick these up with tires for $200. Not a bad deal, you know, to switch over to alloys. Also, you know, this is where people, if they want to do it, but these things have a tendency with organic brakes of getting really dirty. You can switch the pads over to semi-metallic. You also have to change the rotors, unfortunately, when you do that. But also I painted the pistons to keep them from getting dirty. The best part about that, exactly that, is that you can just wash them off versus them being always dirty and black. Going to the back, the drum brakes, known for rusting, you can actually take Rust-Oleum, the hammered paint, use the gray. You can paint the drums with that paint and they'll never rust, and they keep a nicer look. Obviously drums are not the most preferable brakes to the back, but it makes them look a little bit better and they don't rust. So most people who buy this car buy it because of economy, you know, they want a car that's going to last forever, blah blah blah. It doesn't have the most amenities as of other cars that are in the same class right now. I've pulled the cover off. One quick thing that you can do, they made these engines so they're extremely quiet. The bellow actually goes through here, around, it's all over the damn place. You want to gain almost a mile per gallon and make your car sound a little bit better. The bottom of the airbox, take the top of the airbox off. Bottom of the airbox, you can actually cut out an opening, a nice little hole, and then number one, make it sound a little bit better. Number two, it frees up the flow a lot on this engine. And you know, driving this car and then driving a rental, there's a significant difference in the throttle response. Obviously, you want to reset the battery anytime you do any kind of changes to the engine. Toyota swears, most manufacturers swear, that the iridium plugs last 100,000 miles. I am sorry to tell anyone, if you put your plugs through 100,000 miles, you're doing yourself a disservice. 50,000 miles is the most you should go on any spark plug, period. It's just, they just can't last, unfortunately, unless you're driving freeway. Maybe on freeway you can pull it off. It's 50,000 miles in this car now. I've had it for 30,000 miles. Another little tidbit I can tell you, on the battery, if you're still under factory warranty, right before the warranty expires, Toyota batteries are crap. The factory batteries are just no good. And if you complain, they will replace it under warranty, which I would suggest to anyone because the batteries are garbage. Okay, so we went through rims and tires. We've gone through the brake system. Now the inside, which can be extremely bland. This is my commuter, so I only got this car because of the gas mileage. I would rather have had something nicer, but this is a LE model, 2010. As you can see, there's something going on here. Doesn't look like one, does it? All this has been upgraded, including the mirror. The mirror is off of Nissan or Infiniti. Come with the Gentex. I believe it's the 457. It is a mirror that has auto dim, the compass, which is in amber, and then your home link switches. You can get these on eBay, taken out of a salvage. Just gotta make sure they have the pigtail, because it's just power accessory and a ground to hook up to power these things, so they can hook up to any car and they're a direct fit. You don't even have to do any kind of modifications. It just hooks right in there, and then you just have to wire it in. Any diagram will tell you, you know, exactly what you need as far as where to plug it in. I was going to plug it in up here in the light, but couldn't find the right sources to use, so I had to run it back into the fuse area, and I just went with my multimeter and found a accessory, constant, and a ground, and that was it. So other modifications, obviously, you can see is that I've gone ahead and painted the center stack. It's not hard. Just quick sand, use a good primer, and then you just use duplicate color Don't use like, you know, the crappy spray. Use Duplicolor. It'll give you a nice, much better finish. And I'll go ahead and show you also what I used as far as, sorry, it's a little hot out here, as far as colors. But these colors came out pretty good. There's a pewter and a gray metallic. The stereo is AVH 8400 BH. It's top of the line, right before you head into the Amvic line, Pioneer systems. It's a very good deck. I would suggest it to anyone who was thinking about upgrading. You can get them for about $550, and it does a lot. I haven't finished upgrading with this, but most of it's been wired in. You know, you get your cable, so you get advanced app mode, and things like that. I also put in a switch here. There's a double pulsing switch that you can get to trick this and then letting you play DVDs while you're driving. See, no, I do not suggest doing that, but it's a lot easier than pulling your emergency brake, because I don't do it when I drive. I just do it. I just don't want to mess with the damn emergency brake when I want it to go. So a simple toggle switch in this blank right here. Just flip it back and forth twice, and you're good to go. Auxiliary switch is now non-op because of that switch. So that's all painted. Home link, like I said, you can have those on eBay, about $100, maybe just a little bit less. But it is a definite go for anyone who wants auto dim. Doesn't like flicking it over in the home link. I mean, the home link alone is worth it, not to have to go fumbling around for your garage door opener. Now the steering wheel, you're like, wow, that didn't even get offered on a 2010. How did that get there? You can get those on eBay. It is a direct swap out. This one obviously is leather. I got it on eBay for $120. Yeah, I know. You're probably not going to find one for the same price, but it does require quite a bit of modifications. The clock spring, which is the module that sits behind here that controls the wiring and keeps the wires connected while you spin the wheel, is completely different on the LE than it is from the S model, because it has extra wiring as far as wiring and steering wheel controls. So you would have to replace, obviously, the steering wheel, the airbag, and the clock spring. Now, if you're patient about this, you can do it fairly cheaply. So I would suggest just hunting. I mean, it's a nice hobby to do, is try to find things for your car to upgrade them. You know, and just do it over time. You know, I'm still not done with this car, so I have other things I want to do with it. Also, I don't like the gauges. They were in the stock model, and this one they were the amber ugly ones. XRS model, or I think the 2011 had them too on the S model. But let's see. You can see that these are the Optitron gauges, not just the stock gauges, and they're much nicer looking. They have a nice bright white color to them, and I like them much better than the stock ones. All you have to do is find one that has similar miles, or exactly the same miles in this case. Actually found one that had 50,000 miles. The gauge was $100, and it's plug and play. All you have to do is pull this away, and then this just pops out, and there's a one-wire connection and it hooks up. Now the suggestion here is that you record this on video like I did, showing that the miles are exactly the same on the two odometers, so that you're showing that you're not changing or I'm messing with an odometer. These cannot be reprogrammed except by the manufacturer. Good luck getting that done if you want to try to have them do it. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg. This would end up just being a $100 upgrade. There's also, as people probably know, the shifter is ugly. This is off of a Venza. I got it for $20. You may notice that some of them have a longer stem on them than others. This stem just pops off, so you can take the stem off of yours and then put it on this one. This one came with a a short stem. I just popped the short stem off and I put the long stem on, screwed it on, $25 upgrade. It's a leather with a wood grain on it, so much nicer than the stock. Under the bottom here, I have function-in controls. So there's a subwoofer in this car. You have bass control there, and then I have also an override shut-off right there. So they're also kind of a cool upgrade to have. LA models for this year, 2010, did not have a very good audio system. Most of the Toyota audio systems are garbage. So this one I upgraded with an Aura audio system from Parts Express. Extremely cheap speakers, but they're extremely good. They were a buyout from Aura Audio. They have neodymium magnets, so they're very small magnets. People underestimate their sound, but most people don't know, neodymium magnets are much stronger than ferrite magnets, so you don't need as large magnets. So tweeters are in there, component system. So I put 6.5s in the doors, and then in the back there's 6x9s, and a subwoofer. There's also something I would like to suggest on the subwoofer as well, and we'll go back there right now. A lot of the manufacturers now are offering systems where the subwoofer has an integrated amplifier. So this is a 12-inch MTX audio. You can probably see the bottom of these are audio speakers as well. So you have a small magnet, but the voice coils are 1 inch on these suckers, so the voice reproduction is really good. So let's see, let's go ahead and open this up. Parts Express had these for $100, and they had an integrated amplifier on them. So it's a quick hookup. If you look at the back here, there's the power line, the RC inputs, and then the remote control. And that's it. And there's no external amplifier. It's much easier to deal with than the other system, and I would suggest it for anyone. I think they only have 10-inch subwoofers left over at Parts Express, and they're $100. The other thing I wanted to go over for a lot of people is that the engine's made in the United States, transmission's made in Japan. A lot of people were like, made in the USA, but the problem is that I don't know what it's about U.S. manufacturing, but the engine is not up to spec as far as the sealing on the engine. They have issues in the back cam carrier in the back here. That a lot of models suffer from a small leak that comes from there. It's enough to be annoying. And then also I've also heard of timing cover leaks. These are timing chain driven engines. But I've heard people having issues with timing chain leaks. Transmission rocks all you can. There's nothing. Everyone complains it's a 4-speed, but you know what? How much does it cost to replace a transmission? These 6 speeds. I don't know. They haven't proven themselves to me yet. It hasn't been enough years for me to go out and want to test it on a commuter where I'm looking to put 300,000 miles on it. You don't see very often these Corollas having transmission failures unless someone is really really bad. So anyways, it's a good commuter car. With modifications you can do yourself. You can jump these things up to about 36 miles per gallon consistently. I average about 35 because I drive hilly, and I drive it I do about 70-75. So you drive it slow, you drive it on a straightaway, I'm sure you'll get better gas mileage. But so far, I've been extremely happy with it, considering the cost, and the cost to maintain it is extremely low. It's just oil changes, honestly, and then, like I said, I suggest doing the spark plugs at 50,000 miles. It's an easy do-it-yourself deal. If you don't trust it yourself, have someone else do it. Just make sure that they use iridium spark plugs, because this is required for this engine. And they're also an oddball size. They're a 9/16 spark plug, which is very odd. So if you do them yourself, you're going to probably have to go and buy a socket for it. Transmission is another one. I would suggest every 40,000 miles, just doing a drain fill. It's not hard. There's a lot of tutorials on how to do it. It should be for the 2010 models. It requires the WS fluid, not the Type T, which is the world standard fluid. So just make sure you do not use Type T in this transmission on a 2010 or above. And it's 2.4 quarts, I do believe. There's a lot of stuff on that as well. It's not like the earlier models. They require 3 quarts for drain fill. Difference between WS and the Type T fluid is that it's thinner, and there's tighter specifications on this transmission than there were on the previous versions. So using the thicker fluid will cause your engine to shift extremely hard. So just suggest just be careful if you're going to do it yourself, but it is quite easy to do yourself. Most things on this car are. Once again, any questions, just go ahead and hit me up in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can.